The stage is set for two of the fastest-paced teams in the league. The Thunder and the Pacers, they have been the two fastest teams this postseason. Among those to play at least 5 games, Oklahoma City actually being even faster than Indianapolis when you take a look at the numbers.
Crazy.
UD stopping these high-octane offenses, it's going to be a challenge for both defenses. But let's rewind. 13 years, your Miami Heat, they played against a Rick Carlisle-led Dallas Mavericks team. What did you see in terms of strategy from them?
I mean, well, they really hit us with a curveball. We were a team who were just flying through the playoffs offensively with the great players that we have, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and we had the Little 12, other guys who stepped in and who started in their role.
I like Little 12.
So we were able to score against everybody, but it was the zone. And when they threw the monkey wrench, right here, if you look at the zone, first and foremost, Sean Marion has nobody on his side. So he comes up with LeBron. He's communicating to people, but nobody takes him, so he comes up and takes him. If you look, it's 5 guys in the paint. Yes, Bron got by Sean Marion, but then he had to go up, and you have a center in Chandler right now who challenges the shot, goes straight up. So there's 5 guys in the paint. Once again, as great as LeBron James is, you want to keep the paint cluttered. Now you look here. They swing it to the top of the key. Jason Kidd starts to rotate. He sees LeBron James at the top of the key. He does not rotate. LeBron James, yes, he can make this shot, but he has to make enough of those. And is he willing to make enough of those to beat us over a 7-game series? So once again, 5 guys in the paint. Now you look at it here from a different perspective, and this is where we had success. LeBron eats up the space. He attacks it. D-Wade eats up the space. He attacks it. And then yours truly cuts to the basket for the easy layup.
Right off ball action.
Yours truly cuts to the basket for the easy layup. So if you look at what they were doing right there, and you take LeBron James out and you put SGA in, he's a guy who likes to get in the paint. Can he make threes? Of course he can make threes.
Yep.
But his bread and butter is getting into that paint, getting into his mid-range, making guys foul him. This is something that you can't do for a full 48 minutes, but you can just throw them off rhythm a little bit, throw a monkey wrench in there, and kind of take away their aggressiveness offensively and make them start thinking. Once you get an offensive team or a great player thinking, that's when you got them defensively.
Tim on the Wildly Successful Hoop Collective podcast agreed with UD. He said, I'll make it very simple. The way that the Indiana Pacers win this series is Rick Carlisle outcoaches Mark Daigneault. Brian, explain.
Well, I will say this. Carlisle famously had one of the big underdog victories in the series in 2011 against UD's Miami Heat. Sorry, UD, to bring it up.
We just talked about that.
I know. I'm sorry. But that comeback with that game plan really is the heart of Rick Carlisle's Hall of Fame resume as a coach. And I will just point something else out. 3 times in the last 2 seasons, the Pacers have won a series where they didn't have home court advantage, which meant they were the underdog. Don't have the home court advantage here. Last 2 rounds, they've tried to really outlast their opposition by just being able to have more bodies and more speed. They start thinking about Game 6 when Game 1 starts. That really is something we heard Rick Carlisle talk about. He said, this is just day 7 of 13. This is day 10 of 13. Here's the problem. The Thunder are the youngest team in the league and arguably the deepest team in the league. They have not played a team with this much energy, with this much depth to deal with it before.
And here's also the problem. If you think about Mark Daigneault, he also has his own specialists defensively in guys like Alex Caruso. I was actually able during Media Day to talk to him, and he was just cool, calm, and collected, like his leader, SGA, because he knows he has one job. Perk says it all the time. Be a star in your role. We saw this through the playoffs. He was guarding Nikola Jokic. It takes a lot to make a superhero look human, and he did that. Then the next series, what did he do? He guarded Rudy Gobert sometimes and was out there getting deflections. You see that with Julius Randle. He matched up with Anthony Edwards. You're able to just go out there and say, I have one job. Respectfully, some things up. Some things up. That's what, the Thunder have in their bag as well.
Go ahead, Rudy.
With a great player, you can't take away everything. There's no way you can take away everything. So you have to pick and choose on the other end. What are we going to take away? This allows you to take away the paint, allows you to take away SGA's bread and butter, at least for some period of the game.
It just feels like everything has to go perfectly for Indiana in order to win. And it has to go perfectly for
That's the key. Indiana can win. It's the fact that beating them 4 times. They're 80-18 this year, the Thunder.
Yeah, that's really hard to see.
But this is a team that understands that. They know who they are, and they'll understand that they have very little room for error. This is how they practice. This is how they prepare. This is how they win games. They understand who they are. They're very in tune with their star player. They know their role, and they understand that they have no room for error, and this is how they've been beating teams.
Well, we're going to make our picks here coming up in just a little bit. But, hey, before we bounce, we did want to wish our friend, our colleague, Jay Harris, a speedy recovery. He announced today that he's been diagnosed with prostate cancer. And he said this morning on Good Morning America, quote, "I'm having surgery on Tuesday. We'll certainly be thinking of him then." And he said, "I'll be away from SportsCenter for about a month to recover." And then he said, "I'm coming back better than ever." And, Jay, I have no doubt we are sending you healing. We are sending you lots of love. We're all pulling for you. One of the best people in the industry. And we look forward to seeing you back better than ever.
Love you, Jay.
Get well soon.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Keep them down, try to wear, pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. The city, yeah, I'm a